Hello, everyone. This is the most magnificent bird, Beak, speaking to you today. And in today's video, I'm back at it with another character review. And this character review will be on the brand new Gold Mythic Ruben. Now, there's two things I know about the name Ruben. Obviously, there is a Ruben sandwich that I have never tried. And then there's also Ruben on Facebook. So, I gotta wonder, Ruben, if you're watching, did you contact Scopely and get them to make a character named after you? I'm just messing with you, man, but it is really weird that, I know someone named Ruben, and then, what do you know, there's a character named Ruben. It's really weird, but, yeah, before we get into it, if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and share the video and leave a comment down below. If you do any of those four things, that I will much appreciate that for sure. And I hope all of you are doing good and staying safe out there. I'm doing alright, and I'm staying safe for the most part. And you guys are most likely going to be watching this on Memorial Day. So, happy Memorial Day to everyone. And I hope all of you and your loved ones had a good one and a safe one. And are also enjoying the 3-day weekend. It's very nice when you can get a 3-day weekend instead of a normal 2-day weekend. But, yeah, anyway, enough of me babbling on. Let's go ahead and get into this character review, shall we? Ruben, Road to Survival. His trait is tough. His role is a damage dealer. And his allegiance is a member of the Road to Survival. Now let's take a look at his stats. His attack stat is 50,477. Wow. His defense is 16,825. And his HP is 26,173. Now let's take a look at his adrenaline rush. True Commando. The recharge rate is 66 AP. Deal 1000% damage to a line of enemies, and those enemies get minus 100% AP. All teammates get 100% counter damage reduction for 1 turn. I mean, there's not a lot to say here. Ruben is going to be dealing 1000% damage to a line of enemies, and that line of enemies is going to also be getting all of their AP taken away. And not only those two things, all teammates are going to get the 100% counter damage reduction for 1 turn. Now, normally only getting counter damage reduction for 1 turn wouldn't be all that great, but he does have a certain specialist skill that could actually turn that into a very well positive, which we will get into it. But on any other circumstances, counter damage reduction for 1 turn would not be all that great, but considering the adrenaline rush he has, and if you can put him, say, behind the tough prison Maggie lead, that's actually not going to be like a huge deal, honestly. There you go, I just gave y'all a great idea to put him behind tough prison Maggie leader. There you go. In a team with her as the leader. So overall, doing a crazy amount of damage to a line. Plus, he's going to be giving out counter damage reduction for 1 turn for the whole team. Plus, if you have him behind the Maggie attack leader, honestly, that 1 turn is not going to be that big of a deal. Overall, very good. Not a whole lot of negatives about his adrenaline rush. Now, let's take a look at his signature move. Never give up. The initial cooldown is 1 turn. 2 turns for the cooldown. Number of uses unlimited. Deal 700% damage to a single enemy. Holy crap. Just 700? Okay. Plus 700 damage if the enemy has 70% or more HP. This fighter gets 100% exhaust resistance for 2 turns. Okay, so obviously before the adrenaline rush, he's already going to be doing 700% damage, which for a signature move that's actually kind of wild. For a signature move, 700, so more than likely half the time, you're going to be doing at least 1400% damage. That's more damage than the adrenaline rush. Like I said, likely because, he's already going to be doing this 700% damage the first time anyway. He's always going to do 700% damage. Plus another 700 if that enemy has 70% or more HP, which at the start of the battle, 1400 damage coming a certain enemy's way can just annihilate them. Absolutely. Except, I mean, you got these defensive tunes. Like, you got certain defensive tunes, such as Sebastian Milton, that can be a little tough to take down. Not impossible. That's one example. But I was going to say Peacekeeper, Vengeance, Jesus. But, however, he's got a way to counter that, at least for 1 turn. But if you have him behind the Maggie lead, that 1 turn isn't really going to be an issue. But now let's talk about this last part. He will get 100% exhaust resistance for 2 turns. Is exhaust a big problem right now? I just don't. That's kind of odd, but maybe that's cluing us in on a hint that maybe one of the next promo tunes coming out is going to have something to do with exhaust. So that definitely is possible. I'm not saying it's 100% confirmed because I have no insider info whatsoever at all, right? So I'm just kind of guessing. That last part, him getting exhaust resistance, I would feel like normalized resistance would be better there, or like a stun resistance or something like that. Or something like that, but that maybe clues us in that be on the lookout for a possible promo tune coming out with some kind of, they got exhaust in their kit somehow, right? So that's definitely, that should raise some eyebrows, or throw up the caution flags a little bit. Just get them out to be ready, just to be on the safe side. But overall, the adrenaline rush, the signature move is really good, and you are potentially more than likely going to do more damage, which 1000% damage is pretty crazy, but 1400% damage, that's, whew. Wow, that's all I got to say. It's really good. It's really good. Not a whole lot to say. Let's go ahead and take a look at his mythic abilities. Agility, 20% increase in basic attack damage. Not gonna spend a whole lot of time talking about this, but to get the best use out of Ruben, you should be leveling up agility, as you should be doing that with all of your damage dealers anyway, so absolutely. I mean, could somebody be crazy enough? Could he get away without agility? With this type of tune, it's possible, but why take that chance? But go ahead and level up agility for sure. Head rush. When this fighter performs their adrenaline rush, 100% chance all teammates get elusive for 2 turns and guardian shield. Okay, so this is very interesting. This is quite interesting, I'll tell you why. Because Ruben's adrenaline rush is giving out the damage counter reduction for 1 turn. You know, when he does his adrenaline rush, not only is he going to be giving out that counter damage reduction for the 1 turn, but all teammates will get elusive for 2 turns and a guardian shield. That potentially, like, say if he's aiming for... That's actually going to be really good and really interesting, because say if Ruben is aiming for Peacekeeper or Vengeance Princess or Vengeance Jesus, you know, that reflect of vengeance is going to hit him, and I'm curious to see if he's going to get the guardian shield first or the counter damage reduction first, because either way he won't initially get hit, because if you have the guardian shield up, that vengeance damage is going to take care of the guardian shields, thus protecting Ruben and the team, which is going to be really good. And you would be dumb not to level up head rush. So definitely 100%, because it's going to only help him out, and not only him out, but it's going to help out the team as well. That's really interesting, but it's really good though. Halt. When this fighter kills a target, 80% chance a random teammate of the target gets normalized and stun for 1 turn. Okay, so this can be good, and it can be a necessity to have with Ruben, but if I was to ever get Ruben, I don't know if I would worry about leveling this one up, only because I have somebody that can normalize. Obviously, Eva and Ghost, so I wouldn't have to worry about, well, what if I don't have a normalizer or some other type of way to normalize certain tunes, right? And 80% chance that a random teammate will get, you know, a 80% chance that a random enemy will get normalized and stun. That's good and all, but I mean, the stun part is only for 1 turn, but that might not be like a big concern, because like Ruben, he can do a lot of damage right off the bat, and we haven't even taken a look at his weapon yet, which we will get to. We will get to it, and so yeah, I mean, if you don't have somebody like Eva and Ghost, sorry, my Coco, part of her tail is coming up. Part of her tail is showing up underneath my door, where she's sitting outside the room as I'm recording this character review. But anyway, let's get back to that. That kind of distracted me. I'm like thinking, like, what is that under the door? And it's just part of her tail. But anyway, let's get back to this. So if you don't have any type of normalizer or another tune that can normalize tunes, I would say go ahead and make this definitely a priority. But if you have a normalizer or someone else that can normalize tunes, I would think about leveling this one up. But, you know, if you have a normalizer, just put that normalizer in an attack team with Ruben. That way you're not solely reliant on that random enemy getting normalized when a certain enemy that you don't need to be normalized will get normalized. You know what I'm saying? That's the only negative thing with that. But I mean, it's not bad, but it would be best to have some type of like a normalizer, or Father's Day Tyrese, who normalizes certain tunes on when you target for a certain target and a certain enemy. And I believe Brutus he normalizes, but the thing about him is I think he only normalizes a specific trait, which is not like, in certain scenarios that's not really all that dependable. So definitely Father's Day Tyrese, Eva and Ghost, or even Yuletide Ezekiel is definitely the way to go. That way you don't have to be solely reliant on Holt. But if you have to be, it's not a bad thing. It's just something to consider for sure. Offensive defense. When this fighter performs their adrenaline rush, 100% chance to apply crosshairs to the target, and all teammates get absolute defense, reducing counter damage to 0. Okay, so I wonder if this is kind of overkill, because I mean he's already handing out reduction counter damage on his adrenaline rush. Then you have the possibility of putting him behind tough prison Maggie as the leader in a team with her as the leader. So I'm not saying it's bad, but damn, it's a little overkill. I'm not gonna lie. It's good, it's great, but damn, like, I mean, yeah, go ahead and level it up. Why not? I mean, right? You know. Plus, when he's doing his adrenaline rush, you got a 100% chance to apply crosshairs to the target. So, you could have a little mix of normalize in there, a little mix of crosshairs. I mean, and you're going to reduce counter damage to 0. I mean, you're kind of already doing that with his adrenaline rush and putting him behind an attack leader such as Prison Maggie or Prisoner Maggie, whatever you want to call her, but you know who I'm talking about. So honestly, there is not a bad mythic ability in here in his kit whatsoever. Now let's take a look at his specialist skill. Follow up to once per turn. When this specialist kills an enemy with an attack, active skill, signature move, or adrenaline rush, they will receive a bonus action. This fighter gets 100% max AP. So, you know how I was saying normally reduction counter damage for only one turn most of the time would be a big, like, really only for one turn, but knowing what we know about follow-up 2, honestly that's not really going to be that big of a problem, and he's going to already be doing a lot of damage anyway, so that potential negative I was talking about is actually not that big of a deal considering his specialist skill. If you've watched my Rating With Me videos and you've seen Forsaken Michonne go off, she has the exact same specialist skill. I love it. I especially love it on Michonne, Forsaken Michonne. It's great. You know, you can have Ruben, you could put him anywhere, And arguably, you could put Forsaken Michonne anywhere you want to, but, well, Ruben, I should say, well, he wouldn't work behind a Philip Blake team, obviously, because that Pacific team is trait Pacific, but normally that's something I kind of complain about, but the Lone Wolves allegiance is still really good, and, like, right now they have, what do they have? The Saviors from Hell event, and I think Ruben is the wheel that you have to pull on in order to get those Hell tokens, and, okay, so they have Morgan Unhinged, Eva and Ghost, Philip Blake, and then they have Elaine. That is who I believe she has something like Tank Buster on her weapon, like, but they never want to put They Who Wonder. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I mean, he's the only one I haven't seen re-released, which is kind of, I don't know. He would work best with a Lone Wolves team. Like, if he was in it, I would have no problems giving them at least I think it's $15. I would have no problems giving them $15, which, I mean, he wouldn't be like he wouldn't cost 300 tokens a piece. He might cost maybe 200, 250, 200, 250. I wouldn't have no problem pulling just so I could try to get They Who Wonder. But boy, do I regret pulling for not pulling for him when he was available. Yeah. Yeah, now I do. I mean, don't get me wrong, St. Patty's Day Rosita is great, but the only negative I have about her is obviously she's not protected by the counter damage reduction. So, as you can see in my rating with me videos, most of the time she's getting taken out because of payback and vengeance. But, you know, she does have Guardian Shields. But anyway, this is about Ruben. Let's get back to Ruben. So, follow-up 2 is really good. Obviously, he's going to be doing a lot of damage already. So, the likelihood of him proccing his adrenaline rush is very likely. So, very good. Now, let's take a look at his weapon. Ruben's Savage Assault Rifle, 45% attack, a huge bonus to AP when attacking, improved bonus AP plus attack. This fighter gets 40% attack for 2 turns and 40% AP at the start of each wave. Superior rush damage. Increase rush damage by 50%. Okay. Ooh. So the 45% attack is really good. Huge bonus to AP when attacking. Yep, why not? Improved bonus AP plus attack. So Ruben is going to be getting 40% attack for 2 turns, which is already crazy to start off with, knowing what we know about his kit. Plus 40% AP at the start of each wave. Wow. Wow, like, just think of it. Just think of it. If you have Ruben in a certain team that has a command, let's just say if he doesn't somehow take someone out and you have a command, you could get his adrenaline rush going turn 1. That is if you don't kill nobody. But if you do, you know, that's him activating follow-up 2 is not going to be that big of a deal. That's even, whew, holy crap. Plus, if that wasn't crazy enough, superior rush damage, increase rush damage by 50%. So, his adrenaline rush is already doing crazy amounts of damage. So you know what? Let's make it even more insane by increasing that rush damage by 50%. Normally, I would say that isn't all that great, but with Ruben, I think you can get away with it. As crazy as that sounds. Oh man. I can see many people already pulling for him if they haven't already, or they're going to get ready to. So, I would try to go for 55% attack, and I wouldn't do anything else with the weapon. I mean, what else can you possibly do with the weapon? I cannot really think what else you could do. So yeah, so that's crazy that Ruben is not only a sandwich that I've never tried, but he is also someone that is in the RTS community, and I gotta wonder, did he somehow convince Scopely to make him a character? No, I doubt he did, but it is weird. It is really weird that they happen to have a character named Ruben. But aside from those comparisons of Ruben, he is a really good tune. He is really solid. He's gonna punch really hard. I mean, what else is there to say? And then you have his artwork, which looks really cool. He's got the shades on. He's got that big assault rifle. And it looks like he's got a whole backpack full of other weapons. Maybe like a SMG, possibly a shotgun, and maybe a pistol. I'm not really sure, but he doesn't only have that assault rifle, but he's prepared. Absolutely. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys for today. What are your thoughts on Gold Mythic Ruben? Are you going to be pulling for him specifically to have a really good damage dealer? I mean, you'd be crazy not to. Me personally, I won't be pulling for him only for one reason. Yes, he is really good. I recognize that. Absolutely, I can understand if you wanted to pull for him, but here's one thing I've always talked about when it comes to these premium characters. I like to get to a safety net of 300,000 advanced mythic and ultra mythic tokens, and I'm at over 200,000 of the ultra mythic tokens. So if I was at my safety net, or at least past it, I would probably maybe think about pulling for him, honestly. But I'm not at that safety point, at that safety net, and he's someone you would want all 5 copies of, absolutely, to get the most use out of him. And if you're not going to pull for him for whatever reason, and if you have any other thoughts on Ruben or the state of RTS in general, please feel free to let me know down in the comments. And coming up, I don't know, sometime this week, I'm going to be pulling on 2 different stashes. One of them is the Trauma Warfare stash. I think I called it the Trauma Welfare stash. I don't know where that came from. But, buddy, I mean, I'm telling you, this RTS is doing things to my mind. But, anyway, one of those stashes I'm going to be pulling on is the Trauma Warfare stash, and it's the other one, oh crap, I can't think of the name of it, but I have a lot of pulls for that one, so that'll be coming relatively soon, sometime this week, so that's something I can give y'all. It should be pretty short and simple, unlike this video. And like I said, if you have any thoughts on Ruben or RTS in general, feel free to let me know. I want to thank each and every one of you for stopping by and for your continued support Or if you're new, welcome in for the first time. All of you are very awesome, and I thank you again. And don't forget to hit the bell and switch on all notifications so you know the second I upload to YouTube. I am Beak, and I'm gonna go fly away back to my nest. Until next time, bye guys.